الله أكبر الله أكبر.
The learning targets for the lesson are four. To know the condition of Christianity 500 years after Prophet Isa alayhi salam came, to understand where the belief of the Trinity came from, to understand the condition of the Jewish people before Islam, and to learn about the small groups that retain the belief in one God. In the past, Musa alayhi salam was sent to guide Banu Israel, or the tribe of Israel, back to the true belief in one God and to free them from the tyranny of Pharaoh. Musa alayhi salam took Banu Israel from Egypt and guided them towards Jerusalem. As it happened in the past, eventually Banu Israel changed their belief in the one true God. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Isa alayhi salam to guide them back to the true belief in one God. Jerusalem belonged to the Roman Empire at the time that Prophet Isa alayhi salam was sent. And after his time, Christianity spread throughout the Roman Empire, so much so that eventually the Emperor of Rome became Christian. A professor of ecclesiastical history in the University of St. Andrews, Reverend James Houston Baxter, writes in The History of Christianity in the Light of the Modern Knowledge. He says with reference to the Christianity of the Romans, if paganism had been destroyed, it was less through annihilation than through absorption. Almost all that was pagan was carried over to survive under a Christian name. He also says, deprived of demigods and heroes, men easily and consciously invested a local martyr, transferring to him the cult and mythology associated with the pagan deity. Before the century was over, the martyr cult was universal, and the beginning had been made of that imposition of a deified human being between God and man. Pagan festivals were adopted and renamed. By the year 400 of the Christian era, Christmas Day, the ancient festival of the sun, was transformed into the birthday of Jesus. In the New Catholic Encyclopedia, it says, when one does speak of an unqualified Trinitarianism, one has moved from the period of Christian origins to, say, the last quadrant of the 4th century. It was only then that what might be called as a definitive Trinitarian dogma, one God in 3 persons, became thoroughly assimilated into Christian life and thought. This clearly states that it wasn't until 300 years after Prophet Isa alayhi salam came that the Christians adopted the belief in the Trinity, and that at the beginning they didn't see Jesus as God or equal to God. So, what happened around the 4th century that caused the belief of Trinity to be adopted by the Christians? The First Council of Nicaea. Roman Emperor Constantine I called for a council in the year 325 of the Christian era. This was the first council to gather in the city of Nicaea. During this council, Emperor Constantine established the belief in the Trinity and the divinity of Jesus. Some of the priests that were gathered at the council disagree with Constantine's views. Among them was Arius. But Emperor Constantine declared anyone who claimed that Jesus was not God as a heretic, meaning a disbeliever, and ordered their persecution and death. This is how the belief in the Trinity started. The persecution after the Council of Nicaea. After the Council of Nicaea, the followers of Arius, those who didn't believe in the Trinity, had to escape the Roman Empire. Many went south and established monasteries in faraway lands where they lived in seclusion. Arius established himself in Egypt with a large group of his followers, but was eventually found and killed. These monks were the true followers of Isa alayhi salam after the Council of Nicaea. The Jewish tribes who had on and off lived in Jerusalem since the time of Prophet Musa alayhi salam had already suffered some type of persecution from the Roman Empire. But after the Council of Nicaea, it became unbearable. Therefore, many went south, establishing their tribes in places like Khaybar and Yathrib. The selection of these places was due to the fact that these cities matched the description the Jewish people had of the place where the last prophet will appear. Important points to remember. What happened to the pagan celebrations when the Romans accepted Christianity? What was decided in the First Council of Nicaea? Who was Arius? What happened to those who refused to accept the divinity of Jesus? What happened with the Jewish tribes when they left the Roman Empire? In the next lesson, we will learn a little bit more about the Roman Empire, and we will also learn about the Persian Empire and the Arabian Peninsula prior to the coming of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Feel free to send your questions in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss the next lessons. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.